Jennifer.
Hey,
Did you finish your report card? You finished?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good.
You know what it is.
And there is our illustrious chairman.
You finished?
Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing, bro?
Not too bad today.
45
All
minutes
right.
get from stuff.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
I was
Oh, no, I'm good.
told that I was supposed to help,
Oh,
Yeah,
that I had to give them
If you
back.
need help, let us know.
Mhm.
oh, no, that's not work.
They have to take that apart.
yeah.
Got enough uniform shirts.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta go. Oh, he's right here. I gotta go with Dumbo.
Great meeting with Darius yesterday, by the way.
Okay. I'm glad it went well.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, yes.
Give everybody just a couple of minutes to get logged on.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning. One. How you doing today, Coach Esposito?
Good.
Good. We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello.
How you doing today?
Good.
See. 1, 2.
Good morning, Miss Perkins Cohen.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay.
You look like you're in a nice place. Is that a real background?
Oh no. Wish it
Oh, it looks lovely. I wish it were too. It's beautiful.
were. Close to my background, but it's not. My background is not really as neat as that.
Yeah, that's always a challenge.
Yeah.
Dr. Jenkins, I think I still only count 4. Is that right?
That is correct. That's what I'm seeing as well.
Okay.
Still have people entering.
This is Dewana. Commissioner Muhammad is transferring over right
Oh,
now.
from the other link. Okay. Thank you. Six. Okay. I think we've got enough folks to open now. Yep, we got enough folks to open. Right. I'd like to call to order the July 8th special board meeting of the Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners. I'll now read a roll call of the board to identify who's present. Please identify yourself first before speaking for the record. Vice Chair Parker.
Vice Chair Parker present.
Thank you. Commissioner Ames Messenger. Commissioner Chicas Guzman. Commissioner Coy. Commissioner Esposito.
Commissioner Esposito present.
Thank you. Commissioner Kenyatta Bay.
Commissioner Kenyatta Bay, present.
Thank you. Commissioner Mohammed.
Mohammed present.
Thank you. Commissioner Redding Lollinger.
Redding Lollinger present.
Thank you. Commissioner Simmons.
Commissioner Simmons present.
Thank you. Commissioner Slater Harrington. And I am present. Is there a motion to open today's meeting?
So moved, Kenyatta Bay.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second Esposito.
Thank you. All in favor, Vice Chair Parker,
Yes.
Commissioner Esposito,
Yes.
Commissioner Kenyatta Bay,
Yes.
Commissioner Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Redding Lollinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons,
Yes.
and I'm in favor. This motion passes. May I now have a motion to
Hey,
close the
Rob.
meeting?
Good morning.
Yes. Hi, welcome.
I'm also
Commissioner
here. Good morning.
Oh, awesome. Welcome. We'll get you in the roll count today. Thank you. Welcome. May I now have a motion to close the meeting as permitted by the Open Meetings Act in accordance with sections 3-101 and 3-305B of the General Provisions Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, issues related to threatened or pending litigation, to seek advice of counsel, negotiations of personnel, and to fulfill the board's administrative and quasi-judicial functions. Is there a motion?
So moved Esposito.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Kenyatta Bay.
Thank you. Before we vote, do any members of the public object to closing today's meeting? Hearing none. All in favor, Vice Chair Parker,
Yes.
Commissioner Ames Messenger,
Yes.
Commissioner Esposito,
Yes.
Commissioner Kenyatta Bay.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Redding Lollinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons,
Yes.
and I am in favor. This motion passes. The board will now go into closed session. For the public, we will reconvene approximately at 9:30 on the public link here. We'll see you, the board in the closed session link, and we'll reconvene with the public at 9:30. Thank you.
school board meeting, but it's not, I can't hear nothing.
Did the commissioners switch to a different meeting?
They're in closed session right now.
So they'll be returning momentarily, I guess.
Yes, they sit around 9:30.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
but the helicopter had ran out of gas.
school board meeting. It's like, I don't know whether it hasn't started or.
So the commissioners are in a closed meeting. They'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Hello, everyone. We apologize for the delay. This is Board Executive Officer Dr. Jennifer Judkins, and the board is finishing up in closed session and will rejoin in approximately 10 minutes. We'll see you then.
All right. Just to thank the public for your patience with us this morning as we convene for our executive session. Just give a couple minutes for our full board to move back to this link before we reopen. We're missing a couple people. Dr. Judkins, is there any additional folks that we're missing that you can see from your eyes?
I am looking at the list now. I know Ames Messenger will not be joining us.
Okay. I think that's everybody back. We have enough to open, Dr. Judkins?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. So once again, good morning. This is Board Chair Robert Sally. I'd like to call to order the July 8th public meeting of the Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners. If you have not done so, please mute your phone. Anyone who has not done so may be muted by the call moderator or removed from the call. Additionally, if you are not a board member of the CEO and her staff, we ask that you please turn off your video. I'll now read a roll call of the board to identify who's on today's call. Please identify yourself first before speaking for the record. Vice Chair Parker.
Vice Chair Parker present.
Good morning. Commissioner Ames Messenger. Commissioner Chicas Guzman. Commissioner Coy. Commissioner Esposito.
Commissioner Esposito present.
Good morning. Commissioner Kenyatta Bay.
Commissioner Kenyatta Bay present.
Thank you. Commissioner Mohammed.
Mohammed present.
Thank you. Commissioner Redding Lollinger.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Simmons.
Simmons present.
Thank you. Commissioner Slater Harrington. And I am present. Is there a motion to reopen today's meeting?
So
So
moved,
moved.
Parker.
I'll take Parker and then Kenyatta Bay as a second. All in favor, Vice Chair Parker?
That was
Yes.
me that second.
Oh,
That was
I'm so
Simmons.
sorry.
No.
Commissioner Simmons, thank you. Vice Chair Parker,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Esposito,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Kenyatta Bay? Oops, and you're on mute, Commissioner.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Redding Lollinger,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons,
Yes, sir.
and I'm in favor. This motion passes. Just a couple of brief notes just to make sure our public is aware just before we move into today's agenda. One of the things that we want to highlight for the public is just more around our work on summer learning programs. All of our programs this summer are vitally important to the continuity of education services that we provide for young people. Our website provides an overview of everything that we're offering. Most of the programs that we're lifting up this summer run Monday through Thursday, unless they're otherwise noted, and most are available at no cost to students who are enrolled in city schools. At the high school level, we're focusing pretty heavily on both STEM opportunities as well as credit recovery. And then in kindergarten through fifth grade, we're focusing a lot on programs like Springboard, Bright Mind Academy, career exploration, experience focus on culture and community learning, and supporting literacy. We once again do encourage all of our families who have opportunities to engage in these programs to sign up, and members of the public who have questions to engage our staff more on the content. For today's approval of PEP, is there a motion to approve the personnel, employment, and payroll for Baltimore City Public Schools?
So moved, Esposito.
Thank you, Commissioner Esposito. Is there a second?
Second, Kenyatta Bay.
Thank you. All in favor, Vice Chair Parker,
Yes.
Commissioner Esposito,
Yes.
Commissioner Kenyatta Bay,
Yes.
Commissioner Mohammed.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Redding Lollinger.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Simmons.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm also in favor. This motion passes. We'll now hear from the Chief Human Capital, Chief Emily Nielsen, regarding today's PEP.
Good morning. I'm sorry, Commissioner Sally, Chief Nielsen isn't in today, so I am Zelda Johnson. I will be reading the board PEP.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. From the Office Chief Academic Officer, we recommend that Sherry Anderson, currently Coordinator, McDonald Knowles Early Childhood Center, Montgomery County Public School System, be appointed Coordinator, Judy Center, Office of Early Childhood, effective July 28th, 2025. Recommended that Catherine Hauser, currently Educational Associate 12-month, Office of Early Childhood, be appointed Coordinator Early Learning Program, Office of Early Childhood, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Cicely Jones, currently Teacher, Special Education, Moravia Park Elementary Middle, be appointed Educational Specialist 2, Parent Response Unit, Compliance Investigations, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Kevin Taylor, currently Coordinator CCEIS Grant, Multi-Tier Systems of Support, be appointed Educational Specialist 2, Discipline Compliance Investigations, effective July 14th, 2025. From the Office of the Chief Financial Officer, recommended that Maggie May Kennedy, currently Assistant Director School Nutrition, Spring Branch Independent School District, be appointed Director of Operations, Menu Planning and Procurement, Director Food Services, effective July 28th, 2025. Office of School Support recommended that Ryan Green Ellis, currently teacher from KIPP Harmony, be appointed Assistant Principal KIPP Harmony, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Shayna Hall, currently Principal Stadium School Middle, be appointed Assistant Principal P-TECH at Dunbar, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Tamara Hanson, currently Educational Specialist 2 Strategy Special Populations, be appointed Educational Specialist Placement Compliance Investigations, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Dwayne Nelson, currently Principal Resident, Glenmount Elementary Middle, be reassigned Assistant Principal, Lakeland Elementary Middle, effective June 28th, 2025. Recommended that Heather Lovett, currently Educational Associate 10-month, Benjamin Franklin High School at Masonville Cove, be appointed Coordinator 9th grade on track to graduate, Benjamin Franklin High School at Masonville Cove, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Andrew Montag, currently Educational Associate 12-month, Carver Vocational Technical High, be appointed Coordinator 9th grade on track to graduate, Excel Academy at Francis M. Wood High, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Irina Rios, currently IEP Team Associate at New Song Academy Elementary Middle, be appointed Educational Specialist 2 Transportation Compliance Investigations, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Curtis Williams, currently Educational Specialist 2, Special Education Supports Compliance Investigations, be appointed School Success Liaison, Special Education, Academic School Support, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Maya Harper, currently Assistant Principal, Johnston Square Elementary, be reassigned Assistant Principal, Westport Academy Elementary Middle, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Chevelle Lampkin, currently Coordinator 9th grade on track to graduate, Frederick Douglass High School, be reassigned Coordinator 9th grade on track to graduate at Edmondson Westside High, effective July 14th, 2025. Recommended that Tawanda Pickett, currently Assistant Principal, Secondary VLP, be reassigned Assistant Principal Highlandtown Elementary Middle, effective July 14th, 2025. And that concludes the PEP, and congratulations to all candidates.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Really appreciate it. Congratulations to all of our personnel and our staff in Baltimore City Public Schools. We appreciate your commitment to our young people. I'd like to now turn it over to Dr. Santelises for CEO comment.
Great. Thank you so much, Chair Sally. Good morning, everyone. I would first like to share an update on the request by Dream Academy, formerly Thomas Jefferson Elementary Middle School, to eliminate a neighborhood zone and install a geographic attendance area. This request was specified by the Maryland Alliance of Public Charter Schools as a condition for receiving over $1 million in charter school program startup funds. since the essence of a conversion or neighborhood charter school is its commitment to support the community as defined by its neighborhood zone. This request was scheduled for a board vote at the next regular board meeting. I am very pleased. Sorry, my screen went down right in the middle. My apologies. So sorry. Chair Sally, can you still hear me? Hello?
Perfectly. Yep. Yep. We can
Yes,
hear you
we can.
perfectly. Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you. So sorry.
No, no worries.
I'm pleased to report that on June 25th, MAPCS withdrew their requirement. This means Dream Academy, like conversion charter schools for more than 2 decades, will continue to serve its neighborhood zone. As a result, a board vote on this issue will no longer be necessary. I really want to thank our board of Commissioners for their leadership, their discussion on this important issue. So thank you again, both to the entire Baltimore City Board of Commissioners. I also want to call out, given our current context, our concern that the U.S. Department of Education is currently withholding funding for several federal programs that could impact city schools' budget for this fiscal year, even though these funds were previously approved by Congress. Title IIA, Supporting Professional Development, Title IIIA, Supporting English Learners, and Title IVA, Student Support and Academic Enrichment. Now, while no official announcement on these programs has been forthcoming, these funds are currently being withheld. In addition, Title I funds have already been reduced, while the possibility of further reductions remains uncertain. We are assessing the impact of these potential reductions in the range of $11 to $17 million, as well as our options to mitigate the effect of such an action on our Baltimore City students and their families. Please be assured that we will keep our school community informed of any developments as we continue to partner with MSDE and education advocates nationwide on behalf of public education and the young people we serve. And with that, Chair, I will turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Santelises. We appreciate the update, especially regarding Dream and also on our budget this upcoming year. Board colleagues, I'll now review the consent agenda. Please let me know if you would like an item removed, or please state your question for staff. 12.01, Panorama Education Incorporated. 12.02, School Links Incorporated. 12.03, Instructure Incorporated. 12.04, Special Education Short-Term and Long-Term Substitutes.
Remove, please, for question.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Yes, I just wanted to get a better sense for the degree to which these are being used for vacancies from the beginning of the year, or they're vacancies that crop up during the year. I just want to, it's a large number. I want to get a better sense for some statistics on vacancies for special education teachers.
Okay, and we'll get staff just a moment to pull together, and we'll go through the rest of the consent agenda. 12.05, the Baltimore School for the Arts Foundation. 16.01, City Teaching Alliance Incorporated.
Quick question on that one.
Please go ahead.
Just curious about what kind of teacher effectiveness data we collect and examine based on where our teachers are coming from, whether it's City Teaching Alliance, whether it's Teach for America, whether it is traditional programs. Just have some questions around effectiveness and what data we collect.
17.01, Catapult Learning, LLC. That takes us to the end. let's go back to the top one. I'm not sure for 12.04, is this the Office of Chief Human Capital Officer?
Good morning, commissioners. No, for the substitutes, it's the Chief Academic Officer. Well, a lot of our, and good morning, sorry, Casey Davis, Director of Operations here in the Office of Academics. While we do obviously hire a lot of substitutes through the Office of Human Capital, in the Office of Special Education, we've reserved funds specific to ensuring that classrooms that are taught by special educators are covered by substitutes that also have, you know, like experiences and credentials in order to cover the special ed space. So Commissioner Lellinger, to answer your question, I'm probably going to have to go back to some of the experts in that office to see what the exact proportion is. My understanding of our contracts with them is by and large, while we do have both short and long-term substitute vacancies, the lion's share does go to our shorter term vacancies. But short term can mean anything from a day to typically 2 weeks. Long term is usually defined as anything more than that or more than a month. So, but I can definitely go back and ask the team to give a better breakdown of exactly the proportions of which fall into each of those categories, if that would be helpful.
That would be very helpful in addition to any vacancy information over the course of the last year, including did we start the year with vacancies in special education? I seem to remember, I think we didn't, but I'd love that cleared up, and that'd be very helpful. Thank you, Casey.
Absolutely.
And one of the asked, I'll remind our entire board that we'll be spending some time in August on human capital overview and getting more information. So this information will be helpful, Casey, to kind of pull into that so that we have a better kind of overarching picture and the specifics as well.
Sounds great. Happy to provide that.
Awesome sauce. So 16.01 for City Teaching Alliance. Not sure who's covering that item.
And as we get the relevant staff on, I guess I just wanted to say I actually really like City Teaching Alliance's model, both in terms of the training year that's afforded and the commitment that is required. It differs from other national models. And so I'm really just interested in human capital. How are we sort of tracking where we're getting our teachers and then what their effectiveness is relative to their peers, you know, after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years. I saw on the in the procurement document that was supplied a retention statistic, which is favorable, and I like that. I like seeing that 93%, I believe, was the figure, but I didn't really see much in the way of effectiveness for student outcomes. And so I'm just curious. It's not even specifically about our teachers who come from this pipeline, but just generally, how are we tracking this in human capital? How do we know where our most effective teachers are coming from? And therefore, how do we know where to double down on which strategies? Maybe we need to be trying to recruit a lot more from City Teaching Alliance. Maybe we need to be thinking about Teach for America. Maybe we need to be thinking about some of our local teacher college pipelines. But how do we know that? And what data are we collecting is my question.
And in the event that our staff may not have all of that information, what we're typically going to focus on in August is a breakdown. What human capital will provide is how they do the recruitment strategies based upon that, the numbers, and then how they track that. That usually will come to the board in a much more in-depth presentation in August. But if there's an overview that folks can provide today from human capital, that would be just helpful at a high level.
Sure, I really appreciate that. So as we were looking at our partnerships with the CTAs, TFA, and BCTR, we really wanted to make sure that we were not only filling vacancies, but filling vacancies with folks who we would be able to retain, help to have a real impact in our classrooms, and even having some impact in their own evaluations and showing as them being effective. And so as we're negotiating with these contracts, we're really building in some retention policies. And internally to HC that we hope to be able to share more about is some of our databases that we're rolling out, just to make sure that we have a real pulse as to what is happening, how the folks who are coming from these pipelines are being successful, how they're transitioning into other bodies and like what their overall impact has been and will continue to be with our students. So that really is how we are looking at this. And we're partnering more closely with my colleague here, Jessie Pappy, or her team, to really see what that is looking like in real time for us.
Great. So is the board going to get access to some, I mean, I know Chair Sally, you're mentioning August, we'll be digging into this, but specifically things like, I mean, it's great to hear you're looking at what I would presume are average teacher evaluation data. Are we going to be able to see some of that? I'd also be curious about, you know, median student growth for assessed grades. Like, is that some of the data that we're actually going to see as a board?
Let me ask Allison what they may propose. So I know typically what we'll get are persistence data. I'm not sure on evaluation, but let me ask Allison what they intend to give us. There's some parameters on what they may.
Yeah, so you're right that typically when we do this analysis, we look more at retention data in terms of, and some of the information, like you said, about demographics of our teachers and where they're coming from. That's typically what we look at more. I could talk to Emily about what we have in terms of performance. I mean, just frankly, the challenge with performance data in terms of looking at evaluations is, you know, while we have more delineation and evaluations, and I think most districts in Maryland, we still don't have a ton. So, you know, 90% of our teachers are highly effective or effective. So it's not the best measure to tell you that, you know, to differentiate between teacher efficacy. So I think I'll work with Emily and Ashley to try to think about what are the ways that we can assess these programs. But one of the main ones we've over time used has been retention. So I think also just another piece I think we should look at is a kind of you know, where these teachers are coming from, and then also where we're placing, like how we're placing them. I think that like the strategy of how we're using them, I think is important to think about too.
And I think that information is really helpful that I've typically seen come forward in terms of like where the gaps are in the system, you know, how we're working both with our school leaders as well as like understanding that opportunity as well to make sure that those placements are successful and those teachers are supported in those roles. And the difference is, I think typically that's been part of the conversation among the different hiring programs that we've elected. Where do we see the greatest persistence and success, and where do we augment on the front end? On that evaluation piece, I think that's been a newer frontier for the board to look at. But this is certainly, I appreciate Allison's willingness to pull that together.
And I will just add, Chair Sally, that Commissioner Lollinger, traditionally, I mean, this dates back at least 2 decades or close to that when I was CAO. The data that has come on achievement data, student achievement data, has been from the programs themselves. So when we review that kind of data in terms of the student impact, that data has most often come from the programs themselves. And there has been, and I don't know where we are now, but we can check, probably not for August, but to get some report later. There used to be agreements between pipelines to share their student impact data so that we could look at it across programs. But it has been traditionally driven by the programs themselves, given their own analysis for their own funding needs. So as Chair Sally said, I think it's a newer frontier for the district to try to assume that role of disaggregation, given the large amounts of data we already analyze. But I do think that there could be an opportunity for partnership further on, if that's something that the board wants to pursue.
Thank you. That's helpful. Just a quick question for my own knowledge. I realize I don't know this. I know you can get SGP data by school. Do the city schools get SGP data by teacher?
It's a great question. We have not mobilized that analysis as a regular analysis, nor is it, and because it's not regular, it hasn't been part of the overall the overall data. So you can do that. The state is now shifting. So I don't know if that will be true moving forward. So I don't know, next year when the state implements the new testing system, whether that will still be the case, but it was never formalized. There were years that I looked at it, but it was usually in a kind of small, focused segment. So I knew, for example, who some of the individual teachers were. There were years where we might look at who's the teacher who moved students the furthest in 1 year. So it wasn't just overall, right? A student that was already high performing, and you could say, oh, great, all their kids are high performing. We actually did look at SGP and say which teachers are the ones that are adding the most growth. I think as teacher evaluation systems, and you know this as well as I do, as the value added element of teacher evaluation fell out of favor nationally, it had ripple effects. Not that we ever used it for teacher evaluation. It was more for identifying who were teacher leaders, like who were people who were getting it done and getting 2 to 3 years. And I do remember there were teachers in those outliers who were getting 2 to 3 years worth of growth in 1 year. So that's a long-winded way of saying, yes, it was there. It was never mobilized or harnessed in a systematic way. And now that that testing regimen is changing and has changed, I'm not sure what the state of it will be, but it's certainly something that the board could continue to pursue, but we've never used it in a formal way. We've used it, like I said, I've used it more to identify who the teacher leaders are, who are actually getting those results with kids. Does that answer your question, sir? Great.
Great. Are there any additional questions on PEP today? I'm so sorry, on our procurements today. Is there a motion to approve the remaining consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Redding-Longer. Is there a second?
Second, Esposito.
Thank you, Commissioner Esposito. All in favor? Vice Chair Parker?
Yes.
Commissioner Esposito?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Kenyatta Bay.
Yes.
Commissioner Mohammed?
Yes.
Commissioner Redding-Longer?
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons?
Yes.
And I'm in favor. This motion passes. Thank you. I think these are, I just want to kind of go back to the questions that we got regarding those teaching programs. These are really important subjects for us to dive deep in coming in August. And so if the board has additional items that they would like staff to pull together, I think this is a good opportunity for the board to make sure we're voicing those items that are helpful for us to assess and have discussions around our human capital strategy here in the district. Item 21.01, our notice of upcoming meetings, will reconvene for the public back on July 22nd for a full board meeting, and that's going to be in person. We'll be back at our normal time at 3:30 for exec session, and then 5:30 for the public meeting at our North Avenue location. We'll also hold I just want to make sure I'm seeing this right. Is there a special board meeting on July 12th, Dr. Judkins?
No, we have in person. We have a special.
I have a note here.
Yeah, that looks strange. We'll look into
Okay.
that. No, our next special board meeting is August.
Okay, so we'll
I think
just
that
strike
should be
that.
August. Yeah, I think that was a typo.
Okay, August 12th. Is that right?
I believe so.
Just want to make sure we get the information right for the.
It is correct, August 12th.
Okay, so full board meeting on July 22nd. We'll have a special virtual meeting on August 12th. That will be virtual. That will be at 9 a.m. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved,
So moved,
Esposito.
Parker.
I'll take Parker and Esposito as a second. All in favor, Vice Chair Parker,
Yes.
Commissioner Esposito,
Yes.
Commissioner Kenyatta Bay,
Yes.
Commissioner Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Redding-Longer,
Yes.
and I'm in favor. This motion passes. I want to thank the public as well as all of our educators for joining us today. And thank you to all of my board colleagues for your participation. We'll see everybody back on July 22nd, and we're always available by email and other engagements out there. We'll see everybody soon. Have a safe summer. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Quick side question.